Yo, it's your boy Logos, and today I want to react to Jill Scott performing her remix of the national anthem. She did this a couple days ago at the Essence Festival, and honestly, I'm just hearing about it thanks to Ram. He's saying over in the group chat, and if it wasn't for him, it probably would have went over my head. I watched a few seconds of it, and what I've seen so far was just more woke BS, victim mentality, saying it's the land of the slaves, and though she's not a slave herself, I think she's a multi-millionaire. She's been an R&B singer for like decades and she's very successful. And honestly, I was a fan of her. Even though I really didn't listen to a lot of her music, Ram did. So this stuff hit him a lot more harder than it did to me. But either way, she's a pretty good artist. And even though I don't always agree with stuff people say, I can't, just ignore the talent. But she did say a lot of bullshit. So we're going to hear some bullshit and we're going to see her talent. So let's get into it.
19 years old. Ready? I'm 51 now, by the way.
She don't look bad for 51 at all.
Oh, say,
here we go.
Can you see by the blood in the streets that this place doesn't smile on you, colored child?
If she's talking about all the blood in the streets, I hope she's talking about Chicago with all the people killing each other. I hope she's talking about all the gun violence that happens every single weekend. And for some crazy weekend, seems to almost literally spike during Father's Day throughout these major inner cities. Are we talking about that? I don't think so. Let's keep watching.
Whose blood built this land? With sweat and their hands, but you'll die in this place, and your memory erased. Oh, say, does this truth hold any weight? This is not the land of the free, but the home of the slave.
This is the bullshit I saw. Oh my
19 years old.
goodness. Oh my goodness. You can't make this bullshit up, can you? Oh, the home of the slave. Yo, Scott, you're not a slave. You were never a slave. You damn sure wasn't a slave when you were signing those contracts and taking in all that money. You're not a slave now, you're signed to Atlantic Records. Like your third label. Like you've been free to choose and pick when you want to work for how much you want to work. That's the difference between you and our ancestors. So you to sit up here in 2023 and make this bullshit song or perform this bullshit song that you performed or wrote up when you was 19, when you barely had any, I don't know, intellect or any knowledge of the world, politics or history, anything at all. And I'm supposed to just accept it, say that you're right, this is the land of slave. Like, this is not the land of slave. If you want to say this is the land of slave, then you have to say that by every piece of territory on this planet. Why don't you go to the Middle East and perform that and tell me how good you have it? It's crazy. The same people that hate America so much never leave. It was funny too, because I remember when Donald Trump was running for president, people would say, I'm gonna leave this country if he gets elected. And some of these dumb fuck, most of these dumb fucks are still here, still touting the same bullshit that Jill Scott's talking about. I wonder if she was one of those same people saying she was gonna move, because clearly she didn't, and clearly she has no problem taking American dollars, using American schools, because she went to university before she decided to change career paths, which is perfectly fine. But she has no problems at all taking the American systems and using American currency and buying American homes and building up American businesses, but she still say this nonsense. It's crazy. You can't talk sense to these people because no matter what you say, they gonna see themselves as a victim. They're gonna see themselves as special. Like here's the thing. Nobody on this planet is special in the terms of suffering or anything like that. And it doesn't mean we need to have a freaking contest and try to make out lists of atrocities or supposed atrocities or this that, and the other to make yourself more of a victim. You wasn't a victim of those atrocities because if you were, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be free to talk. You wouldn't be free to make money. You wouldn't be free to say the same stuff that you do say now. It's crazy. Like America and certain other Western countries allow you to say what you want without repercussions for that. But at the same time, you want to say how much you hate that same country. Like, and this is not about just dick riding the government or dick riding the United States because I'll tell you in every single video, I don't trust the government. I don't trust politicians. I don't trust corporations. But it has nothing, that's not the same stratosphere of me saying this is a land of slave and I have slavery PTSD. That is bullshit that you do hear people say nowadays. They have post-traumatic stress disorder or trauma because their ancestors from generations and generations and generations ago were slaves. Do the Irish have generational trauma then from being, I don't know, persecuted and then all the other stuff they went through in the United States too? What about the Scots and what they went through with Britain when they had their British Empire? What about the Indians? Like, what about every single group on this planet? That's the thing too. Like, even if you want to say like Europeans or the British or this and the other were conquerors and this and the other, they have trauma too. If you're going with your logic, because at a certain point, Britain was conquered by the Romans. How long does it take for trauma to pass? How long does it take for trauma to no longer matter? It just seems like it's just moving the goalposts so they can be the victim. And at a certain point, as you can clearly see nowadays, they start to eat their own because you can never be virtuous enough with these people. It's a race. It's a game. It's a marathon type thing. They want to be the bigger victim because they can make excuses for their lives. But the sad thing is, the crazy thing is, Jill Scott has no reason at all to be saying this BS because she is successful. She is a successful American, as much as she hates to admit it or say it or want to act like she's not. She hasn't been held back at all due to slavery or anything else. She is perfectly fine, but all she want to do is pander and say bullshit to her fans. And those same dumbass women will eat it up, just eat the shit up, because it's come from somebody that they don't even know, but they made some music or say some BS that make them feel good. It's no different from Beyonce talking about single ladies and all this other bullshit about leaving her man, leaving her husband, but she never did it. Even when he cheated, she never did it. But still, her fans want to say if you like it, put a ring on it and all this other BS and talk about leaving their man, this and the other. But their idol, the person that they worship and want to quote songs and BS with, don't even do the same thing. They getting played, but they're too stupid to realize it. But it's much easier to say the reason why I'm mad is because of everybody else and not myself. Because once you say it's yourself, you have to start actually changing. You have to actually do work. You actually, I don't know, do better. People don't want to do better nowadays. They just want to complain and bitch and moan about how hard they have it. But if it's so hard in America for Black Americans, why there are so many people immigrating to the United States still? Why so many immigrants from minority communities or will be a minority United States still come here? Like Africans, West Indian people, Hispanic people, Asian people, European people, like people still coming over here day after day after day. Why? It's funny too. I wonder how many of these same people would say this stuff also support stuff like open borders. Like, you know, that nonsense where they say anybody should just come and go as they please. We shouldn't be trying to stop people from Mexico or whatever, or refugees from coming over. Like, I just don't get it. These people seem to be double talking in their head. Oh, man. I don't know. This is just more content to me, so the bullshit keep coming out, and I'll keep talking about it. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Had a good 4th of July, just chilling, relaxing, appreciating the holiday, and appreciating being American and not being in Ukraine, not being Russian right now because who knows, I'll probably be on the front lines, not being in some place with a failed state, many other things I'm grateful for. And one of those many things is being born in the United States. I'm very grateful for my father immigrating over here, entering the military, and I eventually came along. I'm glad I was born here, not someplace else. That doesn't mean United States is perfect. And I often say in many of my videos, part of the reason, so part of the things we got to do to improve this country is to actually be more educated and hold our politicians and the government and corporations accountable within a justifiable way. That doesn't mean over regulations and stuff like that, but obviously ruled out corruption. So I'm not a person that just say if you don't like this country, get out and just accept whatever happens to you. But crying about some bullshit that you didn't even experience, I'm not gonna go with that. It's your boy Logos. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.